Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. I'm Star Wars competitor Andrew Dimalanta.
And I'm Nicki Dimalanta.
And the awards is next week, I believe, right?
Yes. Well, a week from to yesterday.
Yes, so when you're listening to this, it'll be on Saturday, but you guys won't see it until Monday or the week after because they can't stream the awards/draft, but we're going to be there.
That's right.
And I'm up for entrance of the year.
Hell yeah.
And of course, also been talking to managers for the draft. So that's exciting. I mean, next season is going to be awesome. Just the draft is going to mix things up and change the game a lot. So I think we have less to talk about the draft because it's just hard to see where players are going to go. So
yeah.
Let's talk about the draft first.
Okay.
Just because we'll have a lot more to say about the awards. As far as the draft goes, before we get into that, I have to do a little bit of housekeeping because I believe in the last episode we talked about something about what was it? We were talking about Ben Bateman's rise to the championship, and we said something about him participating in the gauntlet to get into the tournament. Harloff, who listens to the show, and he DMs me and says, "Yeah, FYI, the gauntlet was last season, not this season." Like, oh shit!
Embarrassing.
So just doing a quick correction, just because don't want to embarrass myself anymore. But yeah, so getting into the draft, I'm trying to look up the draft order. Do you have the draft order in front of you?
No, I have the nominees for the awards in front of me because I don't remember.
So hold on, let me see. I know that that Levine has the first pick, and he probably will most likely take Shazam. I think
Levine.
Levine will either get.
I don't know. I'm thinking he might take the family because of Drew.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's either the family or Shazam.
Yeah,
that he'll take.
I don't know.
How could you pass up Shazam?
No,
right now? They're
an
hot
excellent
right now.
point. But I mean, Sam past partners with the Godfather.
Yeah, I know he has that connection.
I don't know. I just kind of assumed that Sam would take Drew McQueenie, which by in turn would have him take Drew Guy as well, and that's just kind of where I assumed. But it is it's hard to pass up Shazam, especially since no one's managed them before. Yeah,
and another thing that we have to bring up because there was a first trade that happened before even the draft got started, and it was Kaiser traded his. I believe he was picking 4th. He traded Burnett at the 10th spot. So now instead of going 4th, Kaiser is picking last in the first round, and I think this is genius because obviously Kevin Smets is protected, so nobody can draft him unless Kaiser wastes his first pick on somebody else, which he obviously isn't going to.
Yeah, no.
But since this is a snake draft, the person that gets the last pick in the first round gets the first pick in the second round. And this is genius by Kaiser. And I can't believe I didn't think of this. So obviously his first pick is Smets, so he picks last. So he doesn't have to worry about not getting his the player that he wants in the first round because he's protected. Turn around, gets the second round, he gets the very first pick now. So that's so genius. So now he's guaranteed 2 great picks as his first 2 picks. That's such a genius move, and this is the thing that sets people like him apart from other managers that nobody else thought to do this. He's the one that
never think to do something like that.
I never thought to do this.
I don't know bullshit about fantasy football though, so
yeah,
it's quite obvious that Kaiser plays fantasy.
Yeah, such a great move. But do you have the draft order in front of you?
I sure do.
So Levine has a number 1 pick.
Levine in the Usual Suspects has number 1. Roxy and her Rock Stars has number 2.
Ooh.
I'm hoping that this is right because Christian retweeted it, so I'm assuming it's right.
Yeah, I imagine. So Roxy is the number 2 pick. Obviously going to go for the odd couple.
I would think.
So she's pretty much locked at.
They're protected?
Yes, they're protected.
Yeah.
So she's locked at her first 2 round picks.
Wait, what?
So if she's going to take odd couples, let's say she says she picks Snyder, she automatically gets Andreyko in the second round. So
what? I see, this is why I don't understand fantasy. So taking a team is 2 picks. It's just
taking
that
a protected team.
A protected team.
Yeah.
So if she takes San Draco in the first round,
She automatically.
nobody can touch Snyder, but she has to not waste, but use her next pick on to get Snyder.
Yes. So that exactly. So that's.
I guess it makes sense.
And I am assuming it's a smart move for managers to pick up teams, especially if you have the opportunity to pick up a protected team.
Yes.
Teams are
first.
going to go first because you get the most bang for your buck if you get a team. Because you obviously you get a team out of that, but you can also two singles competitors.
Yeah.
So it's a no-brainer to take a team in the first round, except for Kaiser, obviously, who gets the IG champ. But again, he turns the very first pick in the second round, no turnaround whatsoever. So he basically gets 2 picks in a row. And if Oyama's around, I think he obviously takes him. But I don't think
he will.
I think Oyama's going to go in the first round.
To somebody else,
just because of he's a great competitor and he has that number 1 contender match coming up as his first match in the next season.
He's got revenge to take.
Exactly. So I think that it'd be foolish to pass up Oyama, but for whatever reason, if he just slips into the second round, I think Kaiser automatically picks him up.
And there's always the possibility of trades because I feel like Kaiser's already kind of shown his prowess a bit.
Yeah.
And for all you know, he might pick somebody up.
Oh, he can trade his second round first pick for a higher pick in the first round if he wanted to. It's just things like that you have to think about.
Yeah.
But I don't think he does that. So Roxy's number 2. Who's number 3?
Koi and his mouthy Mercs.
Ooh, Koi and mouthy Mercs.
Koi's a wild card because he hasn't been around at all lately. I think the last time we saw him was at one live event where he did this fucking Jeff Goldblum
with
thing. Winston and Stacy.
I can't remember their team name. It was something weird.
It's ironic you say that because I think it's called Wait I Know This or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
You're right. But
yeah,
I don't have no idea where he's.
I don't know where he stands.
So say Levine takes the family, and then Roxy takes Odd Couple. He'd be stupid
not to take Shazam. Yeah,
because if they're around during the third pick, why wouldn't you pick them up?
And honestly, now that you say that out loud, I feel like Koi's personality would meld really well with Shazam.
Yes, it would with Bibiani.
With both Bibiani and Brendan.
Yeah.
They would all.
Oh yeah,
I think they'd go really well.
Shazam is one of those teams that really don't need a manager.
No, but it could elevate them.
It can elevate them to actually get the titles. So I could see that going really well.
They got so close.
That's a very good point. That their personalities meld so well. Mm-hmm. So I can see that happening.
I could definitely see that happening.
Oh, yeah.
I never thought about that before, but yeah, that.
So then at number 4 was
the dungeon. Well, it was the dungeon.
It was the dungeon. Now it's
the Burning Droogs.
God. Burnett's a wild card. I don't know where he goes.
I mean, he's not going to, if the family's around, he's not going to take them, I don't think, because of the falling out with Andrew Guy. And I don't want to just assume that if you're like a Healy manager that you're going to take a Healy team or a Healy, single competitor. It's easier to make your predictions if you're basing off of something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know who he's going to go with because I was like, oh, well, yeah, duh, he's going to go with the family, but they broke up.
And if all this depends on what Levine does with his first pick, because if he doesn't pick either up the family or Shazam, which is I don't see him doing that, it screws everything up. Or say he picks Corruption, that just turns everything up on its head.
Yeah. Well, Corruption. Wait.
Corruption's a protected team.
Okay, so they're a protected team. Okay.
Yeah.
I just have to wrap my brain around all this because in my brain, protected means they're protected and they're guaranteed to their manager, and that's not what it means.
That's only champions are that.
Okay, that's correct. That was the one piece I was missing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Corruption is they're married to each other, but not to a manager now.
Yeah, married. Yeah.
Okay.
We should start saying locked teams and protected players. I don't know.
Yeah, because he could really turn it upside down if he's I want Corruption.
Or he can not take a team at all, which wouldn't make sense either.
Also, I wonder if Corruption... Yeah, true. Mm-hmm. I also wonder... he could go up there and be like, I want to take Alex Damon. The thing that you just said that made me wonder, just out of curiosity, it's not a big deal, but I wonder if Chance and Mike will continue to be Corruption, considering that Shannon's faction is called Corruption, or if they'll...
I think they will.
Well, because it'd just be weird if Team Corruption went to a different manager, and Shannon calls herself Corruption. I don't know. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, but I don't think Corruption's going to go anywhere else but Corruption.
I don't think so, unless somebody is like, let me take them as like collateral, and I'm just planning for a sick ass trade.
Yeah, if anything, if somebody does do that and picks them up before Shannon can get to them, it's going to be trade bait. Mm-hmm. Just so that maybe they want to pick higher or something. But yeah, so after Burnett is
the Finstock Exchange,
and we already know what
he's already got, like his 10 billionth picks already.
He's not picking to the 5th, so we don't have to worry about what he's doing.
Yeah, no.
Then
after him is Shannon with Corruption,
and if they're around, which I assume they will.
Yeah.
If Burnett doesn't, because that's I think the only person that would take Corruption before Shannon can get to them is Burnett. That's the only other option.
Yeah, because Rockstars will not take them because Grace is tied to Roxy and bad blood and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I don't think Rockstars would take Corruption, and I just don't see Coy going for them, and Kaiser definitely won't be taking them.
Yeah, there's too many good teams ahead of Corruption right now at this point, and managers attached to the teams that are in the protected. I don't think they do that.
So Corruption will probably go to Corruption. Yeah. And then after that is Swag Squad, Mr. Winston.
Oh, Winston. So, let's see. So, as it's projected now, I think all the projected teams are done, right?
I really should have written all the teams down like Beautiful Mind style.
I think they're all gone at this point. So it's
protected teams.
Yeah, all protected teams. I think he goes. I mean, if he really wants to fuck up Zipper's season, just pick Zipper with your first pick. But I don't know.
Why would he pick Zipper?
Just because he wants to mess with him. Because he's still mad at him for leaving.
Why would picking him mess with him?
So he can just give him shitty matches and just.
No, he wouldn't waste his time doing that.
I could see him picking up either Erwin, Janine,
Time Machine.
Well, no, because
they're not protected, but trying to put them together.
But at that spot that he's at, he could pick up Erwin and then turn around and pick up Janine if he wants to keep them together, because he's far back on that list on the picks to where he can pick up Erwin, because after him is
Fife Club.
Yeah, and she'll probably pick up some. She won't probably pick up. She might pick up Janine though. Emma, yeah, I can see her picking up Janine.
Maybe. I feel like maybe Winston
yeah, but
will try to do something weird.
So at this spot where Winston is at,
maybe he picks up Tom, and then he turns around and he's like, let me fucking pick Ethan Irwin and put them on a team together.
Yeah, I mean,
do something weird.
Being at the 8th pick isn't as bad as it seems, because as the way it's stacked out right now with all the projected teams going to where they
theoretically should
be going with their own factions that they're staying with. It's not a bad pick. The first round is pretty good right now, because you can pick up Tom, and if your Irwin's available, pick him up, put them together, and that's a monster team.
Also, if you want to make people pissed that you're breaking up the loony bin.
Yeah, exactly. Or he can pick up Drew.
Video Drew does live far away, so I don't know her availability to compete as much as
Yeah.
Ideally, she'd be there all the time.
I know Winston's been bitching a lot on SEN, like, oh my god, I had the first pick, now I'm 8th.
I think he's got a pretty good spot.
8th has got a good spot because there's some pretty good players out there that should be available near the end of the first round and near the second round. So he's in a really good spot right now, especially with being the snake draft.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
He's got a lower pick with some really good players available. Turn around, you get one of the top picks in the second round. So I think that's
not
good.
Too bad. He's in a pretty good.
So
position.
I think if Oyama, Irwin, Janine's a sleeper this year. I think she's going to take her game to the next level this next season.
With the right manager, yeah.
Yes, with the right manager. And if she wants to go swinging in teams again, plenty of people that can be teamed up with her.
Absolutely.
So after Winston is Emma, which I think she'll fit well with Emma.
Janine.
Janine. Yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Because Emma's proven herself as a great manager.
And Janine, she might be, from a storyline standpoint, maybe she's not necessarily going to be bad, but she might just be like,
hungry.
I'm just tired of this and I'm ready to
just
turn this shit up. So perhaps.
Yeah. Unless, Emma wants to go off ball and pick up Oyama.
I just feel like the Fife Club is just going to be I could just see them
making
a girl power type squad.
That could be.
Like,
but
put Janine with who knows? Rachel Silvestrini. Like,
Rachel's another sleeper. She's an underrated player.
Hasn't really had a great
she hasn't had a great like
team yet.
Not a great team or singles record or anything like. She hasn't had like a great run at it yet, but she's very underrated, and I think that if cause I think she's just busy and she just can't commit to like studying and all that stuff. But I think if she puts her like head to the ground and like just pulls forward, and if she gets matched up with somebody like Janine, could make a really good run.
Yeah, not that Devon wasn't a good teammate, but I just think she needs a different teammate.
Mm-hmm. Somebody that balances her out. I think her and Devon had similar strengths and weaknesses. You need somebody else that balances you out. So like somebody that can pick up the slack with like Oscars and directors if you're not familiar with those, and you're better with those off-ball questions like Disney stuff. Like Rachel's good in those like we're like not lesser, but like those really weirder categories that people
like
aren't.
Niche categories.
Yeah, those niche categories. She's really good at that. So she can be matched up with like Janine would be a really good partner for her.
Who knows?
So that'd be good too. And then
after Fight Club would be the Burning Droogs, but now will be the Dungeon.
It's the Dungeon, which obviously is going to go Kevin, and then turn around he'll pick somebody else up. But I think going to the first round for the draft is as deep as we can go, because after that it's just like who knows?
It could be anything could fucking happen.
Knows?
Because I feel like the first 5 or 6 picks are like
pretty much locked.
This is pretty much what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But who knows? Somebody might be like, I don't know, I want to be the monkey wrench here.
Yeah.
And I want to fuck someone's day up, and that way I can get some sick trade because I got who they want, kind of thing.
Just trade bait.
Yeah, because somebody might pick up, not necessarily in the first round, but at some point somebody might say, I want Ken Knapsack. And then they know they got Fight Club by the dick because they might want him. So, who knows what the people are going to do out there.
It's gonna be a game changer in this season because it adds a whole other element. Because I was listening to Backstage this past week and just listen. It was basically watching Sports Center. Yeah. But for movie trivia. It was so cool. Like, this is what's going to
kind of Sports Center I want to watch.
Yes, exactly.
God.
Football season's almost over, babe, so you don't have to watch it anymore.
I hate Sports Center. Oh my God.
No,
it's
but
like
it was
this
was kind of like if you're not into sport, if you're not a sports guy but you love movie trivia and love the Schmoedown, watch Backstage, because the way that they're talking about it is like where I did not see this ever being possible with the Schmoedown, because it was such a niche thing. Niche thing. I don't know. Niche. I bounce back and forth between them. But like, it was so cool. It's like, wow, this is something special we have here, because we have legends of the game talking about it, and it feels like something you would see on like a sports show or a sports broadcast. It was so
like Christian
cool.
said, you can put the spelling bee on ESPN, put this shit on there.
If freaking Clash Royale can be an esport.
Yeah.
Come on, movie trivia, Schmoedown can be something that can be aired on and syndicated on some off-ball, like, cable syndicated show.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, the movie trivia Schmoedown can definitely live on something like the Game Show Network.
Oh my God.
It could totally.
Well, I don't know about Game Show Network, but somewhere.
Something like that, like, that's not like, a very, like, popular, not popular, but, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But
I just can't think of a network.
Something that's something like a cable network that's.
We don't have cable, so I don't know the names anymore.
We do Hulu. We don't do that. But like something like that, like a Game Show Network, like a network like that's lumped into like a cable package.
Yeah.
I can definitely see the Schmoedown.
100%. It would be amazing. That's the dream.
Given the right exposure over the next couple of years, I can totally see that happening.
I hope so.
Yeah, so I don't think we have much to say on the next couple rounds of the draft, because it's just so hard to think of who goes where.
And also, there's a ton of people in the draft that we're gonna forget somebody and be like, oh yeah, I forgot that person was around.
And if you haven't watched Frank's, I can't remember what it's something sheets. I see it all the time on the Facebook group. Cheat sheet.
Oh.
Frank's show on there. He went through and I think did the first 4 rounds of his mock draft. He might have done another one just because of I
think he said he had to do an updated one because of Jay dropping.
Because he's so busy. This Schmoedown's gonna miss Jay. I'm sure he's gonna be involved, maybe like calling a couple of matches.
Well, he's gonna be an advisor to Winston, I think is what they said.
I mean, he's another one of those that the Schmoedown benefits Jay being around the Schmoedown.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully he gets more involved other than just being an advisor, because he's a great personality to have around. But yeah, so if you want to get more deeper dive on the draft, at least go check out Frankie Janish's Frankie J show on that. His analysis was like really like he guesses where like Star Wars competitors are gonna go. I think I went in the 5th round. I think I went in the 5th or 4th round to Dungeon. but recent events have me thinking I might be going elsewhere, just depending on what might happen. And I'm not gonna go into that until after the draft.
Yeah, who knows?
Because things are just happening. People have been DMing me. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Who knows?
So let's go ahead and get into the awards. We have more to say about the awards than we do the draft. So let's just go category by category. And
I did not do my research. I'm such a shitter.
Well, like entrance of the year and stuff like that, it's hard to like, maybe go back but I think those are only two categories that you really have to like, go back and watch. But like,
I ideally, if I had more time on my hands, I would have gone back. Somebody out there made a compilation video of all of the teams' entrances.
Yeah.
I would love to have seen one for all the singles entrances as well. Maybe some highlights from the matches of the year and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
But, who's got that kind of time on their hands? I know I sure don't.
Nope.
But for singles entrances, we got Greg Alba, A Star Is Born entrance at Free For All 2019.
I remember he was
I
there.
don't remember this at all.
It was pretty funny. He like fell asleep at the desk, and, and he was like, "Oh, I don't think he got a single question right." Yeah, but he was just there to have fun and play a character.
Falling asleep was part of his entrance?
No, he entered as what's his name from A Star Is Born? Bradley Cooper's character. I haven't seen that movie yet.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
Shock.
But yeah, I remember him being pretty funny.
Jeff Snyder, Bear Jew entrance.
You gotta remember
I feel
that.
weird saying that. Yeah, no, he was wearing a tank top, like a wife beater, and didn't it say like, no.
Jew Bear.
Did it say Jew Bear?
No, it
I
said
don't
Bear
know.
Jew.
Like Bear Jew Bear. Oh God. Oh God. No, he was wearing a wife beater.
Yeah, he had the bat.
And he had a bat, and then he wrote something.
I can't remember.
I don't know if it was.
But I do remember him coming out because it's in the, like highlights of like
Yes,
and stuff like that. So
and then Rachel Cushing, Lord of the Rings champion, stroll into Comic-Con with Clark Wolf against Mike Kalinowski for the Inner Geekdom belt.
I mean,
and that one's also in a highlight reel.
Yeah,
we always see them from behind walking forward in her white dress. And then after that is someone, I don't even know, someone called Andrew Dimalanta, and he flew an X-Wing into his Star Wars #1 contender match with Laura Kelly.
That?
I don't know who that. We should just breeze on to the next one, I guess.
And then last but not least.
Well, no, there's two more.
Two more? Oh, yeah.
William Bibiani, Love Actually entrance versus Chance Ellison.
Mm-hmm.
And then John Rocca with his Sick Game entrance at Spectacular.
Okay, yeah. So obviously taking me out of that equation.
Yes.
Who was your favorite entrance out of those nominees?
What happened in the Love Actually entrance?
So he comes out with
with the cards.
The cards, yeah.
Okay. I would probably. So here's the debate here, because I know John Rocca had been talking about this on, I don't know if it's SEN and or backstage. He people were saying that it was more, his Sick entrance was more of a moment of the year more so than an entrance.
I think it's nominated for moment of the year as well.
And he was like, well, Webster's dictionary defines entrance as walking into a place.
Well, you need to also introduce the argument that Christian has over, because it's Christian and then I think Bibiani have the most heated debate about this, is like what should define somebody as being entrance of the year, be nominated for entrance of the year. Christian is more the person that the like fan emotional like response to it, like because Guy won for entrance of the year with his Dan Murrell entrance at the Free For All.
Yeah, and
Bibiani's point of view is like people that should be nominated are people that like him who like
planning,
putting like effort into it and like that are deserving of an award because of the amount of work that gets put into it. I
agree with that,
and I agree with that obviously because of the amount of work that I put into my entrance, and just if you go on our YouTube channel, videosbanter.com. I have a video explaining how much work went into it, and I'll give you like a peek behind the curtain and like what amount of work went into putting that entrance together, and the planning and everything that is. And on total work, like because I have a kid, I can't work on it 100% of my time. I worked on it on and off for like 2 months, but altogether it probably was like more like 3 weeks.
And we had to shoot it real quick while the baby was sleeping one day.
Yeah. So just that alone, just like trying to work around my daughter's like nap schedule and things like that.
But I do agree that moments like the Sick entrance and moments like the Andrew Guy Dan Murrell entrance, I do believe that that's more suited for a moment of the year nomination, which, by the way, I did check, and the Sick entrance is also nominated for moment of the year. Yeah. I just think something like that is more appropriate for a moment.
But entrance, it's like So taking me out of the equation, my favorite entrance out of all those nominees is Bibiani's Love Actually.
Well, because quite honestly, apart from you and Bibiani, everyone else is, and I don't mean to sound shitty when I say this, everyone else is just
walking out.
them walking in.
Yeah.
And
as a character. Or
yeah, they're
something.
dressed up in something, but they're not doing anything particularly
special or.
Yeah. You know, I don't want to sound like a dick, but they might be dressed up or they're just
it's
walking
just
out.
Very little effort went
Which,
into it.
by Webster's definition is an entrance.
Yeah, but
sure.
when you look at people like me and Bibiani that we planned this out and we put so much effort into it.
Yeah, yours took like post-production and whatever. Bibiani's took a lot of pre-planning and coordination.
And I love that Love Actually entrance. It's just
it was funny.
It's funny. It's unique. It obviously doesn't have effects on it, but like it's something that you put a lot of thought into your entrance. So I think it's things like that. I think people like should have.
If you weren't in the running, because obviously my vote goes to you.
Yeah.
But if you weren't in the running, I would probably vote for Bibiani.
Yeah. And Christian said as much like because Christian said his vote is for the sick entrance.
I would vote for that for a moment.
I would
more
vote
than
for
I would
the
for
moment.
entrance.
But he said if Roka wasn't nominated for entrance of the year for sick entrance, his vote goes to me.
Hell yeah.
So and I don't mean to like be like stroke my dick or anything, but like I think I'm a lock for entrance of the year.
Well, you're up against a couple legends.
Yeah, but like when you just comparing our entrances at face value, I mean, why wouldn't I win entrance of the year?
No, yeah, you're right, but it's kind of like, I don't know if this analogy is going to work, but it's kind of like a name brand.
Yeah.
Like, well, why would I get something that's generic when I can get the name brand? You know.
Yeah.
Even if the generic one, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like and that's not to say that if John wins, it's only because he's John Roca, but it's familiarity.
Yeah.
People might just be like, yeah, that Roca entrance, he's a legend. And that was legendary.
If he doesn't win for entrance of the year, he probably will win for moment of the year.
We'll see who else is. I forget who's nominated for moment of the year, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think I just again, I don't mean to like put my ego out there, but I think I'm. It'd be shocking for me at least if I didn't win.
It'd be disappointing because a lot of work did go into it.
We're fucking going all the way to LA just so I can get this thing. I better fucking win.
Well.
We're also going for the draft and to hang out with a bunch of friends.
Yeah. So for best teams entrance, we got the Scream Queens entrance against the Odd Couple when they murder Sam Levine at Schmoedown Throwdown.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
And then Shire Wolves, Thelma and Louise against Critically Acclaimed. Crimson Fury versus Late to the Party when Tim Franco was announced as Stacy's mystery partner. Looney Bin debut versus Loose Cannons. And then Shazam when they pretend that they're announcers versus the Odd Couple.
I know, and this is what I voted. I voted for Shazam for this category.
If I also had a separate vote, I would probably also vote for Shazam. My only criticism on the Shazam entrance, I think it went a little long.
It was, yeah.
I think it would have benefited from wrapping it up a little bit, just tightening it up a little bit, because it was like, all right,
guys. Yeah,
but
again, I think this is something that, like, Bibiani put a lot of thought and effort into this. This was so unique.
And he had to get Mark Ellis and Ken Knapsack to buy into it.
Yeah.
And
they did very little.
They didn't do much, but they still had to do something.
Yeah. But this is one of the cases where it's like, yeah, it has these effects to it, but it's so creative and it's so like just unique, and you don't see anybody else doing stuff like this. It was so good. The
Shire Wolves one also, because that took planning and post production and everything.
This is my my issue with the Shire Wolves entrance.
Is it the troll face?
It's troll face is part of it. The effects aren't great.
Well,
they're so, and I've talked to Christian about this. I've talked to Eric about this. Nerd Chronic.
Careful.
No, I'm not trashing anybody else's, but I said that like, hey, my you've seen my work, you've seen what I can do. I'm available. If you need help with this stuff, I'm available. And they've responded positively to that. Yeah, we'll talk to you about it. So hopefully these entrances. So if competitors are listening to this and they want special entrances, most likely I'll be working on the effects. So go nuts. Go nuts. Get me a paycheck.
But so the Shire Wolves, they actually, it was kind of like a Bibiani type entrance.
Yeah.
Scream Queens.
That one was another creative one I liked.
It was creative.
You got another competitor involved. You got Levine involved, and like, it was another unique creative one. But I think the Shazam entrance was just so like, what's going on?
Yeah. And Crimson Fury. it's all right.
It would have been more shot. This one would have been another one that's more suited for moment of the year. But my problem with this one is
because it really wasn't.
Yeah, it
how
wasn't-
was announcing somebody else part of your entrance? She was already sitting at the desk.
Well, it was him entering into the match.
Oh,
But
yeah, I
here's my
guess.
problem with that. I don't know who that other guy was. It's like, oh, it's so good. Oh my god. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, who are you?
I think
have
he,
no
is somehow related to Late to the Party.
Yeah, I think he's part of Late to the Party. But again, it's like
I did not. I was
don't
not
know
aware.
who you are. I'm sorry. I just don't know who you are. So it was very
Like they
for
took off
me
his
at least.
mask, and I was like, oh, because I
Yeah.
think they were playing the Saw music like it was Bibiani coming out,
Yeah, something
right?
like that. Yeah, I
it
don't
was
know.
like it was Bibiani's like solo or
Yeah,
one
and
of
it was
his
just-
solo theme songs, and when they took off the mask, it was just kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's
I
like
don't
this
get it.
huge build up to the match. It's like, oh, who's this one? And they try their best to sell it. I mean, for me at least, it was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
For somebody else who probably knows who he is, they're like, oh my
Yeah,
god, wow,
absolutely.
oh my god. But for me, it's just like,
okay.
okay, I guess that's her partner now. I have no idea who you are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but there's just things like that. I think were more suited for moment of the year.
And the Looney Bin entrance, that was kind of
It was just their introduction to the Looney Bin.
Video Drew walks out and
Tom just walks out.
Tom is hunched over with
Yeah,
his hood.
I think they ran out of entrances.
Well,
Even though there are a couple. I remember going back and I'm like, there was a couple entrances I'm surprised didn't get nominated because for singles entrance, Paul Preston's
I
club
like that
entrance
one.
was hilarious.
I'm really surprised.
It was another unique, creative entrance that didn't require any effects at all.
Yeah, no. I really enjoyed
And
that entrance.
it was so funny because Bibiana tries to get in. He's like, whoa, what?
Brendan tries to get
Brendan
in.
tries to get in. I think Brendan tried to bribe him. He's like, nope, get out of here. Then Paul comes through. It's like, that's so funny.
That
It's
was
like entrances like that. I think anybody can pull off.
Yeah.
It's just those are the kind of things that need to be nominated. I'm surprised that didn't get a nod.
Me too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we would probably both vote for Shazam,
Yeah.
for best team's entrance. After that is Inner Geekdom and Star Wars Player of the Year.
And
We've got Kev Smets, Alex Damon, Rachel Cushing, Chandru Dandapani, Mike Kalinowski, and that's it.
And that's it. And my vote went to Kalinowski, even though he doesn't have the title right now. Just the sole fact that he lost the title and then won it in the same season.
Yeah.
And he beat Smets in that number one contender match, who was just on a fucking roll. Before he went up against Kalinowski.
Yeah, for me it would be between Kevin and Kalinowski.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin was a close second for me, but just Kalinowski was just edging him out by a tiny bit because when you look at Kevin's record, it's like knockout after knockout after knockout, but it's like these knockouts were by people weren't really the strongest competitors against him,
true.
and two people that were away from the game for a long time. So like Jay and Navarro didn't, and Hlavik didn't put forth his best effort, and that the two strongest matches that he had to go up against, or competitors and hardest matches that he went against, was Mike the first time he went up against him, and Chandru.
Yeah, Chandru gave him
So
a run.
that kind of factored into my. It's like, well, who did he face? It's like, yeah, he has the belt now, and yeah, he had this amazing knockout runs. Who was he facing, and what was the competition like? I think Mike's competition was a bit harder.
And also Mike is the first ever 2-time Inner Geekdom
Yeah.
champion.
So yeah, that's why I voted for him.
Yeah, I would probably he would edge it out for me as well. I'd probably pick
And Rachel,
Kalinowski.
Rachel was in that conversation as well. But I said this before, I believe last episode. If she would have competed throughout the entire season, she would have gotten more votes. But the fact that she cut off her season short and just didn't play it through,
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
Any category that she's nominated player wise, I kind of she doesn't get my vote because she didn't complete the season, and that factored into my voting.
Yeah, we got a more complete arc.
Yeah.
From
Kevin and from Mike.
After that, we got upset of the year. Odd Couple defeating the Shire Wolves at team championships. Oh, that when they took the title from them, I assume.
Yes.
Paulo Yama defeats Dan Murrell, and he becomes the youngest ever movie trivia Schmoedown world champion. Stacey Howard defeats Mark Riley at singles tournament first round. Crimson Fury defeats Loose Cannons. Oh, right. Loose Cannons is Oyama and Zipper. And then Looney Bin defeats Time Machine.
I have my vote. I know you don't like it, but what was your vote for this?
Oh no, you go first.
So I was Howard over Riley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think I would probably go for mine would be between Paul Oyama defeating Dan Murrell or Odd Couple taking down Shia Wolves.
And I chose Howard versus Riley because Oyama beating Murrell is a really big upset, but then Oyama is a far better competitor than Stacey is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So Howard is the bigger upset because she's not as a strong competitor and she beat a stronger competitor, and so that's why and she's like the upset tournament buster. She does this every year where she knocks out somebody really good in the first round, but then underperforms in the second round and just gets knocked out. Mm-hmm. She's that. I made the comparison of her being that like college upset team that upsets the top number one or like a top 10 team that's they're unranked and they upset a top 10 team. Mm-hmm. And then in the very next game, they shut the bed.
The bracket buster.
Yeah. So she's just a bracket buster, and I don't know. That's why I voted for her.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of look at Oyama and Murrell. Yeah, Oyama's a different class of competitor. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he showed that to us. But I don't know. The fact that he's just a rookie.
Yeah.
And he took down one of, if not the greatest player in the Schmoedown. And I think everybody, that was like,
whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one that put him on the map.
Yeah. Well, it didn't, like, there was an upset with, didn't Andrew Guy take down Dan Murrell?
Yeah.
I mean, if you climb that mountain, it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm just saying, in the whole scheme of things, like, Oyama is this great competitor. It's just nobody took him seriously until he won the title.
Yeah.
So, and now that we have that on our minds, because Howard's been around the game for a while. And she really hasn't elevated her game. So she's remained the same kind of competitor year after year after year.
But doesn't she say she doesn't really study?
And that's the thing. Like, I think she's just here just to
have fun.
Just to have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, if she really wanted to, she could sit down and study and, become a better competitor. I just don't think she wants to put forth the effort.
That's a lot of time. It's
a lot of commitment. But like, again, just the fact that she doesn't study, she beat Riley. That's a huge upset to me.
It is.
Yeah.
My vote probably would go to Oyama Murrell.
Yeah, and that was a close second for me, but I was like, I mean, Oyama's this amazing competitor now, and everybody knows who he is, and he's kind of a household name in the Schmoedown now, so it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I'm going to agree to disagree. Podcast after show of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Abby Friel's Twitter reactions, which is interesting that's nominated considering it's a podcast category.
Well, it's kind of like it's a reactor.
We might want to just change the name of the category then. Yeah. But whatever, I'm not running this ship.
Yeah.
Call to Action, dedicated to art, Jaw movies, and Take 3. We both have the same vote on this one.
Take 3. Yeah.
And
it is a little biased because, Kristen Smith.
Yeah.
That's mostly what my vote for. But also, this is a category where it's like, I don't know most of these shows. I think Call to Action is going to win it.
I'm not familiar with Jaw movies, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Call to Action I'm familiar with because I believe that's, Jake Yacovetta and all those people, and dedicated to art.
I kind of had a little beef with them earlier in the season.
With Nico and everything.
Yeah, we're cool now though. We've both expressed our opinions, and he apologized to me like 50 times. I'm like, dude, you don't have to apologize for being a passionate fan. Your opinion is your opinion. You just made a stupid mistake not doing your research before, making comments.
And I say that as I have not done any.
Yeah, I know. Like,
research.
so we're all guilty of it. So like, Nico, if you're listening, I think you do listen. He does listen to the podcast. So don't worry about me when we're cool because you just made a mistake, and don't be whatever.
So yeah, I think we'd both go with Take 3. Were you on? You recently were on Take 3, right? No.
Yeah. I was on not on the Schmoedown one. I was on for Raycom. We were ranking top.
Oh, yes.
The top Star Wars moments. And go ahead and check that out. That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. But there was a couple of moments I'm like, shit, we left that out. We left out I Love You, I Know. I'm like, well, discredit me as a Star Wars fan because I forgot it.
Yeah. And there was a little bit of drama on Twitter and stuff because Brad Gilmore came out. And he was Brad Gilmore of the Schmoedown Rundown with Frankie Janish. And he came out on their podcast, and he was like, "Oh, I forget exactly what he said."
Is he
but
just salty that he didn't get nominated?
No, he's not salty because I think the reason they're not nominated is because they are like
They're an
the
official
show.
Yeah, they're an official
Schmoedown
podcast.
It would be like, person of the year and putting Christian in there.
Yeah.
You can't put somebody like that.
Yeah, it's like start your own private show if you're gonna be salty for not being nominated.
No. I don't think that he's salty. I
Yeah.
just think that he's stirring the pot and just, playing the character. But
maybe he's starting to do a heel turn as an announcer.
Well, I mean, I think that might have already happened considering what we already watched. But he said something about like, I wouldn't vote for any of these people because none of them invited me to be on their show, and I'm the boat. And then just this morning, I saw that he posted another video where he was like, "Oh,
looked like he was going to apologize."
Yeah, he was like, "I noticed that some people, might have been upset by my comments and blah blah blah. But what I'd like to say is I don't care about what you think. I'm the boat."
Just making it interesting and.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's that he's salty. They cannot be nominated because they are like the official flagship podcast of
the Schmoedown.
The Schmoedown. So it wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
So
it is a good show. If you don't listen,
show.
Check it out. I mean
who does more?
Their show, their show is kind of
Frank.
what I based this on because I knew when we wanted to start this podcast, I didn't want to be like a reactor. Like watch the show.
Yeah, we're not that kind of.
We're not that kind of
like just watch me watch this because that's not personally. That's
not
not content that I'm interested in.
Yeah, that's not.
I'd rather watch it for myself, not watch you watch it.
Yeah,
I'd rather talk about our feelings afterward.
Yeah. So that's that. Yeah.
So take 3 podcast.
Take 3. Go, Kristen.
Manager of the year.
This is a lock.
Grace Hancock and Ken Knapsack. Jay Washington, Kaiser, Roxy, Robert Meyer Burnett, Tom Dagnino.
So just basically naming all the managers from last season, basically.
Obviously, Tom Dagnino is manager of the year.
It's no
very,
question.
very, very closely edged out Kaiser, in my personal opinion.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
But Tom Dagnino, he's it.
He's it, and I said this on our very first episode. That singles match between Ben and Oyama determined manager of the year. If Oyama would have beaten Bateman, Kaiser would have gotten
and not
the
just
automatic.
because you have the belt in your corner.
Yeah,
it represents more than just having the belt.
Yeah,
it's not that if you hold the belt at the end of the year, you're manager of the year. It's just that if Oyama had retained his belt, then Kaiser would have automatically gotten manager of the year for me because rookie manager takes 2 rookie players and gets them both to a belt.
Yeah. One to get the belt and to defend it too.
Yes.
Like that would have been a huge deal.
Yes, that would have been gigantic. And that's why he would have been manager of the year. Not that it's Paul's fault because, the cookie fucking crumbles that way sometimes.
Yeah.
But had Paul defended his title, I would have given manager to Kaiser. But since Ben took it, now Dagnino, and this is grossly, I don't even... like it's putting this into like the tiniest nutshell possible. There's so much more to talk about and so many more reasons why these managers are deserving of that win.
Yeah.
But Tom, he's got the team's competitors that they who did they take the belt from? Corruption.
Corruption, yeah.
So you got Roca and Dan. They won their belts against Corruption. You got Ben, who, as we've said before, people would consider to probably be one of the best players to never have a belt.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now he has a belt. It was, I feel like, and also Tom just, the cherry on top is just that he won that fucking manager match
the
in
draft
Orlando. There's so much more to talk about. I know that I'm putting it in way too small of a summary. Yeah. But in my opinion, Tom Dagnino is absolutely manager of the year.
When you have all the belts except for the IG and the Star Wars, like you have half the championships of the Schmoedown. Like,
and Tom at that time did not have an Inner Geekdom player.
Yeah.
So now that he does, and who knows who else he might draft, now, God, he's going to be super even more dangerous now that he could be. Tom has the potential to be competing, having his players compete in all 4 divisions and possibly having all 4 belts.
All 4 belts, yeah.
That's insane.
Depending on who he drafts for the Star Wars division, or have one of his drafted competitors like maybe Riley, or because Roca's expressed interest in the Star Wars division.
It's huge.
Theoretically, he could have all the belts. And that's
absolutely.
I mean,
ridiculous. Every manager has that possibility.
Yeah. But I think he has the strongest possibility.
The fact that he's going into season 7 with the teams and singles champions.
And an inner geeking player that could really swing it, I think.
And I really hope, because it's no secret that Dagnino's one of my favorite people in the Schmoedown.
Yeah.
And I kind of don't want him to draft Alex Damon, because I think it would make for a better storyline if Dagnino drafted the person to take down Damon.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I feel like drafting someone like Alex is like, just give me the belt.
Yeah, it's a cheap.
I don't want to work for it.
Who do you think Alex goes to? Because in the mock draft that Frankie did, he has him going to Koi.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I don't know.
It just depends. I think if anything, Alex goes at the very earliest, late second round.
Yeah.
Or more possibly like mid to early third round. I think that's
why,
possible.
but I just, in my brain, I could just keep thinking Sam. And I don't know why. I really don't have any reason behind that.
That's a possibility.
Maybe it's just because he's the first pick. Yeah. I don't know.
I think once Alex goes, that's when you start people going, oh shit,
I better pick up a Star Wars person.
Because pretty much everybody that's known in the Star Wars division are great competitors in the division.
Oh yeah, and you'd be lucky to get any one of them.
Yeah, I mean, the Star Wars division, yeah, it's small and really, but it's really competitive. Any of us can hold the belt at any given time. If any of us happens to take down Damon, then it's up in the air now. It's like, now anybody can take down anybody.
Yeah,
because it's going to be a really fucking challenge to take that belt from Alex.
Yeah,
and I think next year is the strongest possibility for any of us to do it, because this attention is going to be split between two divisions now.
Yeah.
So I even know Alex could probably do all this shit in his sleep, but I think next season is probably the best chance anybody has to take him down.
I can't wait.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
But yes, but for Kaiser, I mean, just the fact that he took 2 rookie players and took the titles, is amazing. But I think the only reason I didn't vote for him is because because Oyama, and this isn't Oyama's fault, but like the fact that he wasn't able to retain it was the reason why I didn't vote for him. It's just because the magic that Dagnino put together this season, because the Horsemen weren't looking pretty at one point during the season.
No, they weren't.
They were losing their belts.
And people were talking about the curse of the Horsemen.
Yeah, the curse of the Horsemen during like mid-season, like Merle losing the title to Oyama was kind of like icing on the cake. And it was like, oh shit, what's going on with the Horsemen? They're all like, they're losing. There's no
Should they
titles.
just retire?
Yeah,
all that kind of talk.
All that stuff. So, but then, keeping that at the end of the season, keeping them focused, get the team titles back, get Bateman to win his singles title, and they're sitting really pretty for next season.
Yeah.
So that's why I voted for Dagnino. And it's not to say that all these other managers weren't good at all.
Yeah, no, but I just feel that Kaiser and Dagnino are just, they've separated themselves so much.
And the fact that Kaiser is a rookie manager.
That's another huge thing.
So huge.
That's why it's almost hard to not give it to him. But I just, in my bones, I just feel like it's Dagnino.
And I'm excited for next year's draft, because it's guaranteed I'm going to have an official manager, even though you're my off-screen manager. Mm-hmm. It's going to be really interesting, because I haven't competed with a manager in either of my matches.
Yeah.
And like, because you hear everybody complaining, like, what the fuck do managers do anyway? But you hear all the competitors like, no, managers are a staple of this game. They elevate your game so much. Yeah. I'm really curious to see how that like factors in to my gameplay.
I'd love to see like a mockumentary of like managers and what they do, but I'm sure it's not going to happen, number one, because of resources and time.
I'll do it for free.
And also because, managers might not want to do that, because they're like, well, I'm not giving away my secrets in my game.
Yeah, but like I'm just interested, because just hearing how players talk about how important managers are, they're going to be like 5 times more important next season, just because of like trading people. There's a lot. We have no idea what that prize is at the end of the year.
I think Christian said that something was locked down.
He said, yeah, but he hasn't.
But he didn't say what it was.
I think he's going to announce it on Monday.
He said there was a big announcement for Monday.
I think that's what it is. But now the fact that something is on the line, managers are going to be so important for the season. So I'm excited to A, see what that is, and B, actually have be involved with an actual manager during my match and during my gameplay, because you've done your best to coach me. You can actually see me in my match versus Laura Kelly when I fuck up on that 725-1. You can see me look over to my right, and I shake my head like, oh shit, why did I do that? You can see me look over, and then take a deep breath, and then like shake my head like I'm shaking it off, and that was me looking at you, and you're like, it's okay, just calm down.
That happened in Chicago,
That
too.
happened in Chicago, too, when I missed
Cloud Riders.
Cloud Riders. I'm like, fuck. That's like, I wanted a perfect round. Because that was the last question of the round. I'm like, shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked over at you. You're like, calm down. And it worked, too, because they calmed me down. I refocused it, and I ended up coming in second.
Yeah.
And it almost happened again in my match with Laura Kelly. You're like, calm down. Anything can happen. Just keep answering your questions.
Mm-hmm.
And she missed her 3-pointer. I had my opportunity to make it up.
And fuck the Clone Wars.
Fuck the Clone Wars.
And let me just throw it out there into
Yeah.
the ether. I just think, and I said this to Andrew before, and he was kind of like, I don't know, because, money and it just adds more production and blah, blah, blah. But something I would love to see, because of all these people in the past that have been like, what does the manager even do? I would love to see, like not full time, not like 100% of the time during matches, but I'd love to see like a manager cam.
Just put like a GoPro on them.
There was like, no, oh God, no.
No, like pointing at them.
Oh, okay.
Get like
Not like on their head.
Like get the SEN like potato cam.
Yeah, like a little potato cam on them. And because somebody took a picture one time, I don't know if it was Joey Moda or something, but somebody in the Schmoedown group, somebody posted a picture one time, and it was a picture of one of the managers. I don't remember who it was. I kind of want to say Jay. I don't know, but it was a picture of some manager on the sideline during like some big moment of a match, and they just looked so intense and so like nervous, and it was just such a like an emotionally charged picture that I kind of would love to see not like pictures. I'd love to see like video
of them reacting, of
them like, oh my, maybe we're doing a 5-pointer and you got somebody on the sideline and the manager is just as nervous as the person on the desk.
Yeah,
I would love to see at least some cuts to managers, whether it's during a match or after a match or what have you.
But use it for like a highlight,
promos highlights. Yeah. I don't know, because I know that the managers are probably on the sidelines, like peeing their pants, like the competitors might be, and I don't know. I think it'll be fun, dynamic, and a fun extra thing.
That'd be cool. And just it doesn't have to be anything like complicated. Just like put like a webcam on them.
Yeah, put Ben Goddard's potato cam on them. He'll share, I'm sure, if we ask him nice. Babyface team of the year. I don't know that I would say Founding Fathers are baby faces. John Roca is not. He got a little bit too much
nominated?
of an edge. Yeah.
Wow.
Babyface team of the year. Founding Fathers. Dangerous Dan Murrell and the Outlaw. Babyface team of the year. Dangerous and Outlaw.
Who else is in there?
Paddington 2, Shazam, Shirewolves, Wildberries.
I would say Shire. I think I voted for Shirewolves for this one.
I'd probably, Brendan Meyer is, I don't know, the definition of a babyface in both looks and personality. So it's kind of hard to bet against Shazam. And Bibiani is almost like, sometimes he just lays it on so thick as a babyface that it almost comes off as like almost heel. Like he's almost trying to provoke you by being so nice and excited. But
I went with Shirewolves for this.
I would love to say Wildberries, but they haven't been around enough.
Yeah, they haven't been
involved.
My
heart votes for the Wildberries.
Yeah.
But it'd be between Shazam and the Shirewolves for me.
Yeah.
I might actually edge it out with Shazam.
Oh, really?
And also using your own logic.
Yeah, they didn't.
Shirewolves, they retired.
This is one of those categories where like competing wise, your gameplay doesn't really matter in this.
True.
It's more of your personality and like stories and stuff like that. So that's why I went Shirewolves.
For the sake of argument, I'll say Shazam. I'll say Shazam. Heel team of the year. Crimson Fury, bad guys of the year, just in case you weren't sure what that meant, because that's what it says on this nomination form. Crimson Fury, The Family, Corruption, The Movie Guys, and Odd Couple.
I can't remember. I think I either went with Family or Corruption. I think I went with The Family.
Those would be my two votes too, either Family or Corruption.
Just for the fact that Andrew Guy's on The Family.
He's the goat of heels.
Goat of heels.
The absolute goat of heels.
We need to come up with whatever it's called for best heel of
whole heel of the year. Wait. Oh no, that's not right. What? Hote. Wait, heel of the that doesn't work either.
No, whatever.
Wait, heel of all time.
Heel
that
of
doesn't
all
work.
No, that doesn't work.
God, what just happened?
Don't know.
I just blacked out again. I'd probably give it to the family just because of Andrew Guy.
Yeah. Okay, so
we got to come up with an acronym that actually makes sense.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Acronym. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. I gotta workshop that one a little bit more because obviously I don't know letters.
No one better than I do. All right. So next category.
Baby face of the year.
It's easy for me.
Ben Bateman, Brendan Meyer, Dan Murrell, Rachel Cushing, William Bibiani.
Brendan Meyer.
Me
Easily,
too. I
easy,
mean, he is the
easy,
embodiment
easy.
of a baby face.
And like, if you're wondering, like, oh, is it a character? Is he acting? That's Brendan Meyer. We met him in LA.
I didn't get to talk to him for very long, but the small interactions I had with him, I'm like, oh, that's just Brendan Meyer.
Yeah. He's such a nice dude.
Like he sat in front of me in one of the matches, and he's like, "Am I in your way? Is that okay? Can you see? Do you
He does talk like that. He talks like that. Oh, he's so hyperactive. Again, I want to see. I want to see just a pure speed round, like exhibition, just like pure buzzer match.
Oh,
between
so he can just go absolutely bananas on that buzzer.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
It'd be hilarious.
Heel of the year.
Oof,
Drew Guy, Grace Hancock, Kaiser, Mike Kalinowski, Robert Meyer Burnett.
Andrew Guy, move on.
Yeah, rookie team of the year. Rookie team of the year, the family. I guess they are a rookie team. Yeah. It's just weird to put them in a category with rookie in the
two
title.
Veteran players.
The family, Shazam, Time Machine, Looney Bin, The Movie Guys.
I said Shazam just because they went to the title shot.
Yeah.
And they're going to have another title shot. And sooner or later, they're going to get back to it because Bibiani has that number one contender thing from Free For All that's just waiting there for him.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to get back to that title shot.
I did not realize the family was 6-1.
Yeah. Their only loss was to Shazam.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And then Shazam was 5-1.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's crazy. Rookie team of the year, I'd probably give it to Shazam also. That's who you picked, right?
Yeah, that's what
okay. Yeah, rookie of the year: Paul Oyama, Kevin Smets, Brendan Meyer, Tom, Paul Preston.
So this was one of the ones where I was like, it was so close to pick because both of them only had one loss. It was between Kevin Smets and Paul Oyama, and I went Oyama, just for the pure fact of that he had that upset over Merle, and not to say that Kalinowski isn't great, but I think the fact that Kalinowski beat Smets before Smets could beat Kalinowski, it just gives Oyama the edge. You know what I mean?
I agree that I feel like Paul Oyama and Kevin Smets would probably be my two votes. But looking at this little stat sheet that whoever put this together,
it was probably either Frank or Christian. I think it was Frank that did it.
I almost now am like, oh, maybe Brendan Meyer should have been in that conversation because. And again, this is not to say that if you only compete in one division, that somebody that competes in more than one is better than you, just for the mere fact they're in multiple divisions.
That's right.
But Paul Oyama 6-1 in singles. I mean, he danced around with Zipper, with loose cannons, whatever. Kevin Smets was 6-1 in Intergeekdom. Brendan Meyer was 3-2 in singles and 5-1 in teams.
Oh, man,
that's pretty significant too. And he... U.S. teams tournament winner and singles tournament semifinalist.
That's a good point.
He lasted 72 minutes in the free-for-all.
Yeah, because it is difficult to compete in two divisions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't think of it that way.
So he is in the conversation.
He's got a strong conversation for it then. But yeah, I think that victory over Merle says volumes for Oyama. So even though he lost it to Bateman in terrible fashion, I still think he's a strong candidate for Rookie of the Year, and that's why I voted for him.
Yeah. I think Rookie of the Year is going to be between Oyama, Smets, and Meyer.
Yeah.
Paul Preston and Tom are both awesome, but I do think
I'm so glad because I think they said this on Backstage that Christian said that Paul Preston is
getting right back in.
He's getting right back in, and that's great.
I'm happy to hear that.
I'm happy to hear that, one, for his personal life, and two, he's an amazing talent and personality to have in the Schmoedown.
Yeah.
Love his. I said it in the last episode. That shtick that he does. The answer is this.
Yeah.
It's like, we didn't ask you a question.
Oh,
okay.
Right.
It's so funny.
Comeback player of the year: Andrew Guy, Ben Bateman, Dan Murrell, Jeff Snyder, Mike Kalinowski.
I think I gave this to. I can't remember. I think I might have gave this to Bateman.
Ben Bateman.
I think it might have been Bateman that I voted for. I can't remember. Even though a lot of this is one of these categories where it's like, you really have to look at not just this season, but last season.
He finished 2018 with a 4-3 record in singles, and then got humiliated by his former partner, Andrew Guy, tackling him through the table.
I think it was I voted for Ben or Dan.
Yeah.
Because Dan didn't have a great season last year.
Man, crazy that in the little, synopsis for each player, Ben, 2018, he was humiliated when Andrew Guy tackled him through a table. And, that was like rock bottom, right?
Yeah.
Andrew Guy fucked him up. And then also Dan Murrell, 2018, upset by Andrew Guy at Collision. Common theme here. Andrew Guy helps you hit rock bottom so that you can fly to the top.
Yeah, but this is one of those categories like, oh man, these are really close because Kalinowski has a really good shot at it too.
Yeah.
Just because he, wasn't doing too great the season before, but then goes to win 2 titles.
Yeah, he began the year by losing the Inner Geekdom to Rachel Cushing. Yeah. Man.
Yeah, and I voted for I also considered Dan because of the he lost the title. No, no, I don't know if I had a little mini stroke there. But yeah.
I feel like either Ben or Dan.
Yeah, I think I voted for Ben. I can't remember who I voted, but I'm pretty sure I voted for Ben.
Moment of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel Cushing defeating Mike Kalinowski for Inner Geekdom belt.
Mm-hmm.
Becomes the second ever double belted champion.
Mm-hmm.
Bibiani goes from entry number 1 at the free-for-all to the end. Matt Atchity fucks himself in the quarterfinals. John Roca shows up sick to play Shazam. It's spectacular. Ben Bateman wins the singles tournament.
What I did, I think for this one, I voted for Bibbs in the free-for-all because that is ridiculous.
It is pretty ridiculous.
So like he came so close to winning it. It's like that's like one of the best moments I've ever best performances I've ever seen in the Schmoedown.
Yeah.
So I obviously voted for that.
Yeah.
I think my close second was Rachel beating Kalinowski.
Yeah. I mean, Matt Ashety's a cool guy, but that's probably my last.
I think that might get a lot of votes.
It might just because of the.
Because we're gonna be talking about that for the next couple seasons. Like Jesus Christ, don't ever do that again.
It's never gonna live that down. I would probably vote for. I'd probably vote for if I had been there live for the Roca entrance, it probably would have had more of an impact on me, but it just didn't translate as well.
And Brianne Chandler had a very good point. Like people at the live event, that was a great impact for them. But people watching on the stream and the rewatch,
it wasn't the same.
You couldn't see it. You couldn't see him come in.
No, you really couldn't see him at all.
Yeah.
And I thought that his music would have been louder, but maybe if you were there, it was. So
so when I voted for these things, I kind of factor in like being there live and also people for the live stream and the rewatches. So I think that's why I voted for Bibiani, because no matter where you watch that from, it's a great
that's pretty
moment.
insane. He won me over. I'd probably vote for that one too, with probably Bateman being a close second.
Yeah.
Okay, so for match of the year, we've got Irwin versus Merle in New York. Merle gets perfect game, wins title. Kalinowski Cushing, Inner Geekdom Throwdown. Kalinowski comes back after being down by 8 points. Cushing wins IG title in sudden death. Kalinowski Smets at Collision. Mike wins. Kalinowski Cushing, Inner Geekdom San Diego. Kalinowski wins the title back. Looney Bin Time Machine. Looney Bin wins. Corruption Shire Wolves. Corruption wins. Corruption Founding Fathers 3. Founding Fathers win. Shazam Movie Guys. Shazam misses the 3. And I don't know who wins because it doesn't actually say it. It just stops there.
Yeah.
So, match of the year.
I would say, for me, it's Rachel beating Kalinowski for the IG title.
When Rachel wins the IG title.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Kalinowski being down by 8 points fights back. That's such a big hole to dig your way out of.
Yeah, just the fact that it doesn't matter to me who, like, the outcome of the match. It's just how good the match was.
Yeah.
If it going to sudden death and Mike coming from an 8-point deficit to come back and bring it to sudden death. And that was the Ninka match.
Yeah.
To lose in that fashion, just like it just tells you how good the match was. Just the loser lost by a letter. That's crazy. It's so crazy.
That was a good match. I'd probably have to agree with you on that one. Team of the year: Shire Wolves, Corruption, Shazam, Founding Fathers, Odd Couple.
Now, I would have gone Shire Wolves for this one,
Mm-hmm.
but it's that same argument that I've been bringing up, that they didn't play a complete season, so that, that docks them a couple points for me. So I went with the Founding Fathers, just because that Horseman thing when they were all like just losing back and forth, and Merle loses a singles title, and they just couldn't seem to get over that hump, and Dan and John lose to Corruption twice before, and they come back a third time and win the titles from them. And yeah, you can say it's like half of that victory is because of Merle's free for all cash in for the number.
That's the
titles.
game.
That's the game. I mean, he could have used it on himself to get the singles title back, but he chose to go for teams, and that was a good choice.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with Founding Fathers because at one point, Founding Fathers were just real low.
Yeah.
And people were talking about, should they just break up?
Yeah.
Like, what's the curse of the Founding or curse of the Horsemen or whatever? Yeah. And then they just were like, well, fuck you guys. Watch us go.
I should also say that if Shazam wins the titles from Founding Fathers, my vote goes to Shazam.
Okay.
So.
And it says Shazam wins their first match, enter teams tournament, win 4 more to win the tournament.
Yeah.
And then lose the close title match to the Founding Fathers.
So they lost one game all season.
Which is impressive. That's
very impressive. But just the fact that Founding Fathers came back from so much and ended up winning the title and defending the title against Shazam. That's why I think they're the team of the year.
Yeah. Singles player of the year.
Ooh.
Merle, Bibiani, Bateman, Oyama, Kalinowski.
So for me, this one came down to 2 players.
I bet it's Merle and Bateman. Oh shit!
Kalinowski.
Oh, okay.
Just because he's trying to compete in 3 divisions, and he had a title in 2 divisions.
Yeah.
While also competing in 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I went with Merle, just for the fact that at the beginning of the season, he wins the title, then loses it, and then comes back to win the team's title, and it's that whole up and down thing, and just the fact that he came back from being hit down. So it's like a comeback story within the season.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I picked Merle. And no shade to Kalinowski or Bateman, though. This is probably the closest category.
Yeah.
I think just because there's so many good players in there.
I think for me, it would be between Merle and probably Bibiani because Bibiani he tears it up. I mean, he might not hold the title right now, but that's not everything, But it's great. When we were at that taping.
Wait, this is singles player of the year, not player of the year?
Singles player of the year.
Oh, okay.
Not overall.
So, yeah, no, I changed my answer.
Oh, no.
So, yeah. Delete. So, rewind. So, I was paying attention. Oh, my God. Sorry. So, singles player of the year, I went Bibiani.
Okay. Yeah.
That makes more sense now.
Yeah, he tears it up.
Yeah. And again, not to take anything from Merle, but just for the singles division alone, you can't take any other factors in with his team play. So you take the team play out of it with Merle. I think Bibiani, just
look
because
at that free for all
performance alone, it just gets him. I think that's why I voted for Bibbs.
Yeah, and at that taping we went to, we just watched him. He played in 3 or 4 matches, and he won all of them.
Yeah,
that's just crazy. Most people would be like, I'm tired after the second one.
It's like, Jesus, you think competing in 3 divisions is tough, competing back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
In so many matches and winning all of them.
And different kinds of matches.
Yeah.
I mean, just talking about that day, I mean, it was like a teams match and then a holiday exhibition, then a horror exhibition. And,
Yeah.
It was just kind of crazy that he had to jump all over the place and was winning all of them.
Yeah.
Was he in the Who's the Studio match? No, he wasn't.
He wasn't. Mike was.
Right. And finally, overall player of the year.
So this is why I kind of just backtrack again my argument.
Merle, Cushing, Bateman, Kalinowski, Bibiani.
Yeah. So it was down to either Kalinowski or Dan, and I said Dan because of just as he competes in 2 divisions, won the title back at the beginning of the year, lost it, and then ended up winning the title in teams. So that's why I voted for him for player of the year.
I'm reading all of their little bio thingies,
and the reason,
crazy.
and Rachel's in this. Rachel's in the conversation too. But that whole stopping almost midway through the season and not completing the season, it hurts her.
Yeah, it's because everyone has that much more, screen time.
More matches under the belts. Yeah.
More time to be like, wow,
exactly.
Look what they did. So yeah, I'd probably. They're all so good. They've all got such impressive little resumes here under each of their names. But I mean, Kalinowski played in 3 divisions, 3-2 in singles, 3-1 in teams, 2-2 in IG.
And if Kalinowski keeps at least one of his belts, he has a strong argument for Player of the Year.
Yeah, unfortunately,
he just loses. So these are the categories where I think titles matter.
Yeah, for overall player of the year.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Mm-hmm. That's a big one. But Merle, played in 2 divisions, 4-2 teams, 2-1 singles, 1 singles title, 1 teams title, defended teams and singles title, won the free for all. Like, how do you argue with that?
That's ridiculous. Because before
he's insane.
Before his name was brought up on a backstage with Christian, I was like, oh yeah, it's Kalinowski because competing in 3 division, winning, being double belted at one time, like that's a heavy resume. Then Christian gets on backstage and he's like, everybody's forgetting about Merle. Well, not everybody's forgetting about it. It's like, I think Merle. And he goes to list off everything you just said there. I'm like, oh, shit, maybe I got to rethink this.
Yeah. Yeah, Merle, he's...
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why he's on the unofficial Mount Rushmore of the Schmoedown.
Yeah, and why a lot of people think he's the greatest to play the game.
The GOAT.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already given our thoughts about that, though, so...
Oh, yeah.
Or we're going to.
What?
Yeah, we recorded next. We record the week after.
Oh, right.
Before this one, just because of scheduling and our baby's sleep schedule.
Yes.
So, yeah, we're confused. Parent life. Yeah. So we had to record next week's podcast ahead of this one, and we had to pretend that we're recording it after. But we're pulling the curtain back, and we're.
Oh God.
Oh no. Oh no.
My monkey.
Oh God. Soundboards.
Yes. Yeah. And so, any other thoughts about the awards and?
I'm just so excited. We're gonna be there, and I'm very excited. It's gonna be so much fun. I cannot wait. Those are my thoughts.
Did you say who you would pick for those categories?
Oh, I tried to skillfully not because I can't decide. Are you talking about overall?
Overall, give me like overall in the singles. Because you gave your thoughts for teams, but I didn't hear
singles player of the year. I feel like it would be between Merle and Bibiani. I might give it to Bibiani.
Yeah, and then
overall player of the year, it's hard to argue against Merle.
Yeah, just that resume is ridiculous.
Yeah, they've all got
but I think
amazing,
I think
synopses.
I think Merle's resume says so much more than others.
It's just hard to argue against Dan Merle with what he's done this season.
Yeah, and he can do it again next season if he wins Player of the Year this year.
He can do that and more.
Yeah, and then he continues his dominance in the singles and teams, and then dominate and does really well in the Inner Geekdom. Mm-hmm. He can repeat as Player of the Year.
And wouldn't it be fun to see a Dan Merle Mara Knopic match?
That would be fun. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I think we're just gonna wrap it up right now. We've gone way over this time. I know we're trying to keep it around an hour, but I think we're close to like an hour and 20 again. Oh my God. But yeah, so thank you very much for joining us on this latest episode of our podcast. Nicki Dimalanta, where can they find you online?
I send twits on my Twitter at Dimmy, DIMMMYYY.
You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Drew Dimalanta, DIMALANTA. If you're listening to this on YouTube, give us a like and hit the subscribe button as well. And if you're not listening to this on YouTube and you're listening on other streaming services, go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube by visiting videosbyandrew.com. And just a quick announcement, we have a Patreon now. Wow. You can support the channel and this podcast by visiting patreon.com/Andrew and Nicki. We only have 2 tiers right now because we don't have a huge following. We just want to see testing the waters out. We have goals set up. So if we get more patrons, we'll introduce more tiers. But right now we only have 2 tiers. Just keeping it really simple. But yeah, go ahead over there to help support the podcast and the YouTube channel. Yeah. But so yeah, I think we're just going to wrap that up here. So thank you again so much for joining us on this episode of Beyond the Schmoedown, and we'll see you guys next time.
Next time.
See you later, guys.